We will go ahead and get started. Ellen's still letting folks in, but it is 10:03, so we want to go ahead and get started. I believe I am the winner of the ugly sweater/jacket contest, unless anybody else has something they need to show.
I agree, you win. You have my
Anyone?
vote.
Anyone? Oh, and I should show the back.
Oh gosh.
Translation, Merry Christmas. All right, y'all. Let's see. Joining me today, Ellen and Ebony. Introduce yourselves, ladies.
Ellen Hill, Main Street Compliance and Training Coordinator. Happy holidays.
Good morning, everyone. I am Ebony Simpson. I am the Organization and Strategic Planning Coordinator. You can't see it very well, but I have like a Grinch sweater on, and then I actually have on Grinch tights as well that are slightly more colorful.
Cute. And I love your
Least
background.
Grinchy person we know.
Right. Yeah. Let's see. Do we have any DCA regional reps on the call? I don't see any. Okay. Andi, do you want to give us an update from GDA?
I actually don't think we really have anything to update. We will have some CDP classes that will go live in January. Registration will go live, but this is my last month as GDA president. It has been truly an honor to serve. It's been a busy year, and I will be very glad to pass the gavel on to Jason in just a couple weeks. But thank you guys for your partnership.
Thank you for all your time and effort. We appreciate it very much. And looking forward to working with Jason too. Ellen, you got some announcements for us?
So do we want to do the fun thing or the not so fun thing first?
Whatever you want to do.
Let's do the not so fun stuff first.
Okay.
All right. So as you all know, assessments are coming up. You've got about a month until they're due. And so I just kind of wanted to send out the reminder again. I try not to bug y'all too much with emails and reminders, but every chance I get, I am going to remind you. So, assessments are due January 15th. You all know this. I did earlier this week host a little office hours drop-in session. Only a couple people showed up, which is totally fine. That means y'all have got it together and you probably haven't even started yet. But I will be hosting 2 more sessions on January the 7th at 2:30 and then January the 13th at 10 a.m. I did send those out in that email that had the reminders of everything, but I will also be sending out just like a reminder email or maybe a post on the Facebook page reminding you guys of the days, the day of. Also, don't forget your online self-assessments are due with National Main Street on January 15th as well. I encourage you to get with your board and kind of go through those if you have time at this point. Definitely the self-assessment tool and that community evaluation like framework guide can help you fill that out if y'all are all newbies and are not, totally comfortable and familiar with the online self-assessment yet. I'll drop a link to that in the comments in just a minute. Also due on January 15th is your Main Street Network annual salary and program survey. So don't forget about that. And then all of your 2025 monthly reports, including December's, is due on January 15th. So don't forget that December report is due early. And then, of course, your annual assessment checklist and all the updates to your Dropbox. If you should be one of our in-person presenters, I've reached out to all of you. You have your PowerPoint and y'all all should have your dates scheduled for your in-person assessment. We're really looking forward to those. But if you have any questions on assessments, certainly reach out. I'm happy to help. Not only do I have those office hours, but y'all know how to get in touch with me, and I'm happy to hop on a Zoom call or a phone call or just shoot me a text or an email and ask any questions, and I'd be happy to answer them. Also in the chat for all of our new folks and people who maybe or just want a little bit of a reminder, I'm going to add in the online tutorials for the online self-assessment form. the one that National did, and also our links to our coffee and conversations for the last 2 years in September that go over the self-assessment and just your the Dropbox submissions. So yeah, Rosemary, that's correct. Your monthly reports do not have to be uploaded to Dropbox. I keep track of all of those who's been turned in and who hasn't, so you don't have to turn those in. And I think that is it. Does anybody have any questions for me about like assessment stuff right now while you're on? You have us on the call? Cool. Y'all know how to get in touch with me. So just please feel free to reach out anytime. Do you want to do the fun thing now, or do you want me to do the shout out?
Oh, well, I also wanted to say, Ellen just posted her office hours and the online assessment video stuff too. And then Abigail wanted to let everybody know that GDA annual dues invoices are live, and you can look for that. If you have any questions, reach out to the GDA board or Abigail. Whatever you want, Miss Ellen.
Well, so Alicia is not on the call. I do not see her, but we were going to give her a little bit of a quick shout out because I did see on LinkedIn this morning that she had a award that she got from the city of Perry. And I'm just going to read it because during the shutdown, as y'all know, Perry is a military town. And, a lot of people who live there were affected by the government shutdown that happened earlier this year. And so she really kind of stepped out of the box and did a little bit of above and beyond. And I really hate she's not on here. We'll shout her out on socials too. But she did this Cans for Kindness campaign where people came and shopped downtown, but also donated like canned goods for the community and people who couldn't go grocery shopping or just were struggling for a moment. And so not only did it help her community, but it also helped the downtown merchants because I think if I remember correctly, the campaign was you bring a canned good, you might get some sort of discount in one of the downtown shops. So it was like everybody's helped in that situation. And so she did get a really nice, what they call the Perry Standard, which is an employee recognition for her. And so I really wish she was on here to like talk about that campaign and how she did it and what all she did through it. But maybe we can get her to talk about it another day. But shout out to Alicia for going above and beyond. We're so excited for her on that. So.
And we would love for y'all to send us when y'all get shout outs in your community or win awards or win whatever, get grants, that kind of thing. Let us know so we can shout out to you and give you a little pat on the back.
Yeah, we love that. And I mean, we want to, everybody loves to rip off and duplicate. So, I mean, if there's something that, everybody can learn from or take and use in their own community, I think that's a wonderful idea. So, yeah. Now the fun thing. Hey,
Yes,
Belinda.
Okay, well, you're talking about pat on the back. I'm going to do it. Andi knows already. So we have this thing. We've had it. I don't know. Was it 2 years maybe, Andi? I'm not sure. But the team members, all of Canton employees can nominate another individual for, I was calling it Student of the Month because still got my head in Student of the Month, but for Employee of the Month. And I got it for November. And so it was really a big surprise because I thought I had a check-in with Billy and it was on my calendar and I had a long list of things I wanted to talk to him about. And I was sitting there and I was all about going into my thing. And about that time, the HR manager and the assistant city manager walked in with balloons and everything. I was like, for me? And I, of course, tears and all that kind of stuff because I don't know, it's a lot of times you feel, you work really hard and you see the, what you put out to the community, but it's just so cool when you're actually seen. And you're seen by your peers. I think that's the biggest thing because you can get pats on the back and hugs from your family and your friends and all that kind of stuff. But when your actual family, your work family says something, it really means a lot. And then I was at an event Saturday and one of our older citizens that is very much into things. I always kept thinking, he just doesn't like me. But I think what it was is I was new. Even though I've been here 6 years, I was not old Canton. And so I've been trying, to come around, get him to come around, that kind of thing. But he came up to me Saturday and he said, I just want you to know that this is just really good. We were doing a Mary market. I had like 85 vendors out there. This is just really good. And I said, well, thank you. And he goes, you worked really hard on this. And I just want you to know I see you. And I don't know if he realized what that meant, but for somebody to say, I see you is huge, because a lot of times we do what we do and it makes us feel good and we know we're putting out something good. But gosh, for somebody that you've been trying to win over for a long time just because you haven't lived here forever, to actually say, I see you and you're doing a good job. I just think we all strive to get to that point. But anyway, I was just really excited because I just thought that was just really cool. That was just a huge thing for me. So
Way to go. Way to go.
so I just want to
Yay.
say, just keep on doing what you're doing. When you feel like you're just so dog tired and all that good stuff, just keep on, because somebody's going to notice it and they're just going to pat you on the back and just say, good job. So yeah.
And it's a lesson to all of us too. It doesn't take but a couple of minutes to give somebody an attaboy or a
Exactly.
thank you, and we just all get so busy that we don't do that. So thank you all for what you do. The work is not easy. It's long hours and takes a lot out of you, but thank you all for what you do every day to make your downtowns and your communities better. Thank you. Anybody else gotten a shout out recently?
There was one from Susan Cherie, if you want to read that out. It's in the chat.
Okay, so Susan Locklear, our Main Street Program volunteer program has won our Chattooga County Chamber of Commerce Volunteer Program of the Year for the past 2 years, and this was voted on by the community. Way to go. Way to go, Susan.
I
Cassidy,
had
what you
one I
got?
wanted to share.
Okay. Is that Wendy?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, it's me. I was asked to attend a city council meeting recently with a former colleague, and I didn't realize she works with Modern Woodman, and she nominated me and recognized me at a city council meeting for being a hometown hero for my work with downtown. And it was very touching. And that was like the third award I've gotten. And from someone who was in education for 30 years and never got an award, I was like, what? I'm just having fun. Like, thank you for seeing me. So, anyway, not trying to be braggy, but it was just a really nice award.
Oh, way to go, Wendy. Hometown hero. I love it. Cassidy, what you got?
I'm a hot mess right now. But Maggie is not on this call this morning, but I would like to shout her out as our Main Street coordinator. She got awarded Employee of the Quarter last quarter, just for keeping everything going and having a great attitude and being a great team player while I was out on maternity leave. And some of our biggest projects that our department was working on, like our mobile visitor center and our local historic district project, she kept them going seamlessly and handled a lot of major operations while we were out. So she was also recognized at City Council for being Employee of the Quarter. And she just this past weekend finished our last, run of holiday events until New Year's, and she put in like 14-hour day on Saturday for our holiday market. So she's not on right now, but I do just want to shout her out because she's a great team player and gets it done.
Way to go, Maggie, and thanks, Cassidy, for sharing that with us. Anybody else? I'll do a shout out to Ebony and Ellen because I think they're pretty freaking awesome. And they've been putting up with me, y'all, for almost a year. So, yeah. Thank y'all for all your hard work and your great ideas. Thank you. Anybody else? All right. Well, again, this is just kind of casual. So if anybody has any questions that they want to ask the group, let us know. Otherwise, we were just going to kind of move on to a fun activity. Garrett, what you got?
Oh, there we go. Can you hear me? Okay, so one of the things that we're getting ready to do right now is for the next year is start up our farmers market again. That usually is pretty popular for Hinesville, especially in the early season. But one of the problems that we've had is some of the businesses, they're compliant with we have a generator policy, so that people who use generators will bring Whisper Quiet or other similar like compliant ones, so that way there's not too much noise pollution, especially in our downtown. There's a lot of hardscape. There's a few trees and everything, but it's not enough that it can really dissipate some of it, especially where we hold the market. The noise bounces back and forth, and even with some of the quieter ones, uh, it's a bit hard to like for some of the older models to kind of find an in between because they'll be compliant, but because of how old they are, we don't want to just push on them of, oh, even though you are within our guidelines, you're not within the guideline because of this. Has there been something like, is there anything that has anyone else has had that's similar that they might be able to give some advice on? Because I want to be as fair to our vendors as possible, since for a lot of them, this market is a big source of the income that they get in. And we want to make sure that we're not just push that while they are compliant, that we aren't just pushing this large financial responsibility, because sometimes these generators can go for quite a pretty penny, and especially with different like circumstances with either the economy, local economy, or even personal finances on their part, we want to make sure that we're giving them as little impact against them to come to our market. Has anyone else kind of had a similar thing with that they might be able to give some advice on?
How many vendors do you have that need generators?
It's usually going to be about 7 or so that typically use it. And I bring it up too because where we hold our market, it's a little park called Bradwell Park, and it's right in the middle of our downtown, and there's a lot of brick building around it. It's not a very huge space, and we have usually about on average about 30 or so vendors that come to that spot, and about 1/3 of them will need a generator, especially because sometimes if you do the plug-in, it won't be at a capacity where everybody can. We try our best to make that, but a lot of the times it's easier for them to get reliable power uh, by bringing a generator that's either part of their food truck or is part of their setup. And so that's part of why, because even when they're all quiet, it's the number in that small space that kind of causes more noise pollution in the area that has led to some of our vendors approaching me and being like, "Hey, Garrett, I'm having trouble talking to my customers, even though like," and I can tell them, "Oh, I can talk," but then when I talk to them, a lot of them are either compliant or they'll have like they'll and it's just an old generator, or it's just, and then there's also, like I said, the number in that space that causes the pollution of noise to kind of make it hard for some of them. But I'm trying to find a good solution that isn't just me telling people get better stuff, because that's not exactly going to make anybody happy there, or is going to be something that I think is a good solution that helps keep that relationship. And I
Lucretia,
want
do
to,
you have a suggestion?
I was going to say a couple of things that come to mind. One of the things that we've done, we have what we call an entertainment district. As we all know, in downtowns, food trucks became a real hot spot at one time. And so in that area where vendors are concentrated, we actually had our utilities department to put in electrical plugs. And I've noticed that even sometimes your utilities provider, I don't know if you're with Georgia Power or ECG, might even do that as a community resource. Another resource that comes to mind is the USDA ArtBET grant, or your farmers market promotional grant. it would allow you to, if you have some expenses, it'll allow you to cover those costs. Or you can actually take the concentrated area and actually have the electrical plugs throughout that whole entertainment district if you need it. But those are things that we've done to help to mitigate some of the noise from the generators.
Okay, because when we did try to have our, that would be good. If you could, would you be able to email that or link that information?
Sure, sure. And
For,
it's public. There are two different grants that I've applied for. One of them is this what they call the USDA Farmers Market Promotional Grant. And I'm not sure of the size of your community, but those normally fall around the month of May. You can Google that and kind of see which, and they'll even share with you examples of other cities and how they use them. And then there's an ARDBED grant, and that ARDBED grant, Rural Business Enterprise, I think is the acronym for that, is another USDA grant. That's normally about $99,000. And that one, the timing is a little bit interesting because as we all know, we just came off of the government shutdown. So I'm not sure when that one will be released, but that's a real quick Google search for you if that's helpful.
okay,
Garrett,
no,
Ellen,
that
Ellen put
is
those in
very
the chat.
helpful.
Garrett, Ellen put the link in the chat for you as well.
Okay, great, thank you.
Is there any sort of something that you could purchase with the generator that would provide, sound insulation for it?
See, I was talking about that before with Miss Michelle Ricketson, my boss, and we were because we don't know what can really be done if they do sell mufflers for generators, like they do with a car, and like or if there's something where there's some kind of because obviously you can't just put wood around the generator to dissipate the sound. That's going to cause a lot more problems that are a lot harder to handle. So. But we like I haven't this was something we were talking about today since we were getting into it since March is going to be quick approaching. And so so I figured I'd ask since there's a lot of different avenues I'm hoping that I can take with this, especially because one of the issues has been that when our park was originally built, even though it had the farmers market in mind, the outlets in the park are rated for residential rather than commercial grade. So so that is one of the main reasons why the generators have been such a bigger problem because with that it makes it harder that we experienced this towards the end in October where we were trying to shift it and we didn't realize they were rated for residential until we had two vendors basically try to do it in the same spot and it would they'd come up and say, Garrett, my fridge just turned off. And that became a big problem. So,
Okay.
but the information provided is fantastic. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Thanks. Anybody else have any questions for the group? Issues, problems you need help with. Here's your opportunity. All right. Well, we wanted to ask y'all a fun question. So our question is, if your Main Street was a Christmas movie or a Christmas song, what would it be? If your Main Street, if you could describe it as one Christmas movie or song, what would it be? Heather, I know you have an answer. I see your face. What is it?
Okay, so Commissioner Tinsley has been a city commissioner for 8 years, and I've been here for 4 Christmases now. And he has been telling me for years I have to watch It's a Wonderful Life, that our streetscape is It's a Wonderful Life. So finally I watched it, and he's so right. Our streetscape is It's a Wonderful Life, especially like when It's a Wonderful Life was made originally. Like it would have definitely matched it. So anyway, it's got to be It's a Wonderful Life.
I love that. One of my favorite movies. Jason.
Hey, so one of the great Christmas traditions we have here in Hartwell, there's a band called the Good Grief Trio. Everyone should check them out. They play at High Cotton Music Hall or Blues Hall every year, but they do Charlie Brown Christmas start to finish. as a first set, and then just kind of traditional Christmas sing-alongs as a second set. And they were just here, and it was really awesome. The house was packed, and that's really kind of I think captures Hartwell, just that Charlie Brown Christmas.
Good one. Who else? Go, Tanya.
I don't know about what I would say our Main Street is, but I kind of feel like grandma got run over by the reindeer. That's what I'm feeling.
This is your theme song.
That's my theme song, yeah.
Katie, I see your face now. What do you think? Everybody's gonna turn off their cameras.
Uh, Tanya's always entertaining. I can only think of Elmer Fudd now when I see her hat. I don't think I have a specific movie. I would just say our downtown just reminds me of like any Hallmark movie when they're walking downtown and just the streetscape and the decorations. It just has that just warm Christmas joy that brings excitement to everybody.
Cassidy said that Tabby's song would be All I Want for Christmas is a Really Good Tan. And Susan says The Polar Express. And Rosemary, Christmas in the Mountains. I don't know that song. Who else? Okay, Rosemary, it's a George Jones song. Okay. I'm sorry, I interrupted somebody.
It's Cynthia Brown, and downtown's beautiful. I was out last night, and it's just breathtaking. But we have the Ritz Theater, which is an historic theater here. And this week and the end of last week, we've been showing movies to our school children. We're actually being selfish and growing audiences for theater in the future. But they've all been Christmas movies, and to hear the joy and the laughter and the clapping and the experience that kids have from 3 to high school age, especially some of our special ed students, it's just been such a gift to us to be able to do that. And we hope that we can continue that tradition for years to come, because it's so important for a child to be able to go in and sit in a theater and see what it's really like instead of watching television. So Christmas has taken on a whole different meaning for us. We've got 350 down in the theater right now. So
Wow.
it's a lot of fun, but it gives you the feeling that there's hope and joy and celebration.
I love that. Who else? Lucretia, do you have something?
I agree with Tanya. I got ran over with the reindeer. Or I'm getting that theme for Christmas. No, it's been great. We've been tremendously busy, to be quite honest with you, but we are so blessed, just like all of the other downtown. So it's been great. I'm looking forward to a few days off though, but it's been good. Yeah.
Winston said the song would be Otis Redding's Bells Will Be Ringing in the MLK District this year. And Tori said that she would say a Muppet Christmas Carol because of all the different unique characters we have in the city. Nicole?
Yeah, it took me a second to think. I was thinking maybe Feliz Navidad because our Hispanic community came out loud and proud for all of our holiday events, and it was awesome. We added a posada into our Jingle Mingle kickoff and some other things. But also Santa Claus is coming to town. We had our very first Green Street Santa sprint to kick off our parade this year, and we had over 500 people dress up in green Santa suits racing down Green Street. So green Santa suits on Green Street. Our goal is over the years if we can beat the world record of 5,000. So we're like really amping up for that. It was pretty magical.
Specifically, you got to beat 5,000 of people running in a green
in just a Santa suit. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you guys are, wanting to come and put in a little 1K fun run in a Santa suit, it was hilarious.
Belinda, how about you?
I think the reindeer thing, that Tanya, because I did the 14-hour Saturday that just went by, but it's just been, tomorrow will be a month of Christmas, because that's the night that we had, November 19th was our tree lighting and our very first drone show here. And that was awesome. If you haven't had a moment to watch when I put that out, because it was like this proud mama moment like crazy. And that was actually one of our vendors from the GDA conference. So when she had all of that over there on the monitors, and I went by and I went, I want that. And so we did have it, and it was just really cool because I worked with the designer and the pilot, and I was looking at it from the screen like you're just desktop, and I was like, oh man, this is so cool, and the music and all that. But standing on that stage with Santa and the mayor, when it actually went welcome across the sky, I had no idea it was going to be that large. We had 200 drones, and we've got photos of kids sitting on dad's shoulders, and their face, it's the best pictures ever of just they're just so amazed, and the smile and everything. And we were getting text messages, Billy and I were. One came from our Children's Haven, which works with our foster families. They had some kids on the playground there. They couldn't hear the music, but they were like, y'all are lighting up the sky. 575, y'all are lighting up the sky. What's going on over there? So that was just really, really cool. That was one of those, man, that's pretty awesome. And then tomorrow night, we'll have reindeer. So Grandma got run over by the reindeer. I thought I've got to let the sound guy know to make sure he plays that song. But we've got 2 reindeer hitched to a sleigh with Santa and Mrs. Claus and a hot chocolate bar, and just another way to bring people downtown for dinner and go shopping, a little bit. But it's been a very, very full month. And one thing that I know a lot of y'all probably do this too, but I try to incorporate moments of calmness with these events, because not every kid can handle loud and busy and pushing and all this kind of stuff. So I have a lot of opportunities for them to see Santa more of a one-on-one, where it's just going in the gazebo and just sitting there and chatting for a few minutes. It doesn't have to be like a busy atmosphere. And a lot of parents have said, I really appreciate you going out of your way to give that opportunity to my kid. And they're able to video it, and you can see the response that the kids handle it a lot better. And that something that was really busy wouldn't have gone over as well. So I just encourage you, if you have a chance, you don't have to make a big production out of it and let people know you're doing it. Just do it, and the parents will, and you just say, hey, we got another opportunity to see Santa from 2 to 5, and and that kind of thing. And the parents really appreciate it, because like I said, every kid's different, and you want to be able to let as many as possible visit. So
Do you specify when you're advertising that it will be more quiet, less sensory overload kind of thing, or?
I think when people, I think they can almost see from the description of the event, like when we had our Christmas in Canton last Friday night, and because you can't get your placer numbers for your kids. So we're thinking we had around, maybe when we look at the numbers of the parents, we're saying we had over 3,000 people in Cannon Park. So for ones of you that have been here, Cannon Park and then 2 parking lots on either side, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of noise. That's a crowd. So, and then I put the list of the activities that are going on. But then I'll say on Thursday nights, we have Mistletoe on Main. Come and visit Santa and enjoy a wagon ride. That's it. There's nothing else going on. I really don't even do music, because I want Santa to have that quiet time. There's no s'mores. There's no anything. It's just visit, have dinner, and get on the wagon. They realize that's a calm, quiet time. On Saturdays, 2 to 5, same thing. It's a calm, quiet time. Nothing else goes on except you visit with Santa. And sometimes I will say it on our larger Cherokee Connect, if you want a moment where it's just a little calmer, this is your perfect time to see them. And it's worked. It has absolutely worked. And I think those moms start talking to other moms and they start passing it along that this is where you need to go. And we're getting known as, hey, they have a little bit of everything, but they also do offer a moment where you can have that one-on-one quiet time.
Can I ask Valinda a question, Cherie, please?
Worse.
Valinda, did I just hear you say you use the Placer number? Is that the Placer AI that we hear about at the conference?
Yes.
So how are you utilizing that in your planning, your event planning?
So if Audie's still on here, she is the guru of that. All I do is I go to our marketing communications, and a lot of time I'll ask her, say, what was my number? Because you have to wait 3 days. What was my number? And then I just give them that radius of the area. There's so many other things I know that I could be dialing into to get way further down the road as far as taking those numbers and where are those people coming from, and I know they can tell me where they're coming from, hopefully, but the big thing is, how long did they stay? That's the biggest thing, how long was that average visit? So that is one of my goals for this upcoming year, is to understand that whole format a little bit better and use it to our benefit when we're really pushing out and marketing these events. So can't answer that question, but I am able to capture those numbers, at least for our monthly reports.
Got it. Thank you.
Valinda, I was wondering, I don't know which other main streets have done drones shows. So I'm sort of curious about the whole drone show thing, but were you able to compare your placer numbers from last year to this year to see an uptick because you were
Yes.
advertising for the drone show?
Yes. 2 years ago, I think they were telling me that we had, like, I don't know, 800 to 1,000 people here for the tree lighting. And that was it. It was tree lighting, 2 choral groups from the schools, face painting, balloons. Again, it wasn't supposed to be an overwhelming night. Then last year we went up to like 1,500. This year, if I'm not mistaken, they said that we were in the 4,000 range. It is equivalent to a First Friday now. So we know that we're going to have to probably arrange the stage differently. We're going to have to raise the speakers up, because a lot of people because the speakers were like here, our body. So you can't sound can't travel through the crowd. They need to be up. So even our Public Works, Parks and Rec guy that I work so closely with First Friday, he goes, I had no idea this many people would be here. And so now we're going to have to treat it differently. And we will. That was the best thing. That's the best thing I think I've ever seen happen. And one of my highlights of a takeaway from that GDA conference. So when you're talking about your sponsors, your exhibitors, y'all go and pay attention to what's out there, because I could have so easily bypassed them and would have never thought twice about it. But we need to pay attention to the ones that invest in us and come and set up at our conferences and see what they have to offer, because it was huge for us.
Any other questions for Valinda on her drone show?
Belinda, about how much was the drone show, and can you send me the info? We've been talking about doing that in July for All American Summer. We're doing our semi-quincentennial event that day. But we will have our fireworks on the 4th. So like the next weekend, we were talking about trying to do the drone show. So will you send me the contact?
Yeah. So I've got the card and I've got the business card too. It's Brittany Jones and it's Open Sky Drone Light Show. I did do the 200 drones. It is the largest show that they could have, because I'm just from the old school, go big or go home. And
Morning.
for
extra
2,000 drones, 200 drones, it was $20,000. We did get some sponsorships. And so I have a feeling next year there will not be any issue at all with getting the sponsors that we need. I've already penciled us in for our tree lighting and for next year. And I'm going to be doing a meeting with the artist and the pilot in January to wrap up that, to get ready for 2026. That company is amazing to work with. There is a 150 drone show and it's 15,000. I looked at the 150 drone and after comparing it to the 200, I just went bigger. I just knew how many, I don't know what they call it, frames. I guess that's frames. because I had to make sure I got the right logos in there. I was able to put Love Local with like a gift thing in there. They're really good about allowing you to design as much as possible. They can even take a previous year and if you like it, pull bits and pieces out of it and then put the music with it. Because they were talking about, there's other opportunities, 4th of July, things like that. The only thing you have to make sure you make is dark. Of course, because, our lighting, we did the drone, we launched at 6:45, we were dark. You have to make sure of where you place it in your downtown because I've learned a lot. There is a canopy of safety that you can't put no cars, no moving people, no anything under that canopy once those drones have launched. It was a 15-minute show. And you go, yeah, 15 minutes, that's a lot of money, but I really believe our return on investment was huge for that. The community were just absolutely mind blown. Some had never seen a drone show before. Like I said, those kids' faces, it was priceless. So if you can figure out how to do it, I'd be glad to talk to anyone that's on the fence. Yes, Andy was talking about Placer up there. If anybody's on the fence and they need somebody to speak with, I would love to talk to anybody in any of your communities and just let them know how it was such an overwhelming success here. Again, that company is phenomenal to work with.
Hey, Valinda, this is Cassidy. I'll just chime in too. We used Open Sky drones for our Labor Day show last year. And it was the first time that Georgia had ever done a drone show off the beach. So we learned a lot too, but it is possible. DNR will approve it. And we did, I think ours was a 15-minute show, and we did the 150 drones. And we've got some great video and pictures of what ours look like with 150 drones compared to the 200. And it was, like Valinda said, some people were just like starstruck. They had never seen anything like that before. And the company is really good to work with. We actually encouraged them to come to the GDA conference after working with us. So I'm really glad that they followed through and became a vendor there.
Yeah. And then they also invited several community Parks and Recs and just whoever makes decisions in other communities to come and see our show. So they kind of used us as a guinea pig, so to speak, but to show, hey, this is what you can do in your community. And so, yeah, they're just great. It's again, it's an investment. I'm not gonna lie, it's an investment. But if you get the right companies, you put tell them your name's going up in lights. And that was one of the best things.
Thank you, Valinda. Kelly, what you got?
Can I ask real quick, how much were 150 drones?
It's 15,000.
15,000.
Okay. Wow, that's expensive. I just want to say that we have been under construction, so our businesses are not very happy. We don't have a whole lot of decorations up, but we have had some things go on. We did a Krampus crawl a few weeks ago that was really popular, and this weekend we're doing SantaCon, which is where everybody does a bar crawl and dresses like Santa. And we're being interviewed. I'm being interviewed Friday by the AJC, and we're supposed to be on the news tomorrow. So I'm excited about SantaCon. SantaCon is a really good. The Seed and Feed Abominable Marching Band kind of leads that, and we go from bar to bar, and they're so big they don't really fit inside the bar, so it ends up being outside, so kids can come to that too. So we've had several kids come, but anyway, we're excited about that. So my song, did I say that already, would be Father Christmas by the Kinks. But anyway,
do people dress like Krampus for the Krampus crawl?
Yeah.
Wow.
We had this little pie. This is only in little 5 Points. We have this little like pyromania people too that kind of come to a lot of our events. So like they had a big Krampus with horns and fire coming out of the horns, and it's really amazing. It's really a fun thing. Krampus has been going on since people didn't even know what it was. We've been doing that in Little Five. So So that's always been, yeah, and we always have a band with that one too, Black Sheep Ensemble, who leads that tour. So
Thanks for sharing, Kelly.
sure.
Anybody else? What Christmas movie would your Main Street be? Chelsea said in East Atlanta Village, it would be Four Christmases because East Atlanta Village has many personalities. Anybody else? I was curious as to like if you learned something this year, like if you have a bit of wisdom that you would like to share with other Main Street managers. What did you like? What was the most important thing you learned this year?
I learned to say no.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so not a person who says no. Like somebody says, let's do this. I'm like, yeah, sure, we'll do it. But I actually learned to say, I'm so sorry. I don't think I have time for that this week. But we could talk about it next year or this year. Like, I don't think we can add that this year, but we can talk about it next year, is basically what I said. So I didn't really say no completely. I just said, I don't think we can add that this year.
Yes, be strong. Way to go.
Yes.
Abigail, what was your comment? I look back at the chat. Abigail said, yes, if. Oh, she doesn't have a mic. So yes, if. Yes, if you're going
So,
to take it on.
so if y'all recall when Deb came last year, she talked about, I think it was because if y'all remember, I told y'all that I've heard Deb speak several times. She always had that notebook or that binder of ideas. And you can always say that idea will go into that binder of ideas. Um, I've always thought that was an amazing idea because to your point, you're not exactly telling them no, but it's like, okay, let's put it in the book. And if you would love to spearhead that, that would be awesome.
Cassidy says, yeah, they call
Absolutely.
it the parking lot. Yeah, let's put that in the parking lot for now.
So Chat GPT has given me a list of ways to say no to things, and this is a warm but firm way. It's not a good time for me, but I hope you have a good time making that happen.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not a good time for me, but you do it. Yeah.
you have a good time making that happen.
Yeah.
Any other piece of wisdom y'all want to share? Yes, Lucretia.
Like one thing that I would share, and I shared this at our last training that we had in Vidalia. One of the things that I've started to do with our developers that I don't think that I realized that we could do is because normally when we get projects, we're just so excited that they're coming downtown, and we're excited to see that we can facilitate that. But I've started to include in our project development a developer's fee, where that becomes a funding resource for the DDA. So normally when we have these big projects that we've been talking about, we tack on a developer's fee, and now that's become a norm for us that any project that we are involved in, especially we just announced the opening of a hotel. We have another one that we're talking about doing for next year. And what happens is that's a $43 million project. And even if I decided that I was going to charge just a small 2%, 10%, whatever, that is a huge revenue for the DDA. So just something, because we're so excited normally there again that we are getting these projects downtown, but it becomes a funding revenue for the DDA that you can actually tack on a revenue developer's fee. And the developers are most of the developers who are very advanced are accustomed to that fee being a part of their capital stack. So just an FYI.
It's a good tip. No one else learned anything this year? Nicole, I see you smiling. Do you have something? Do you have words of wisdom for us?
No, honestly, this year has been a year of reprieve for me since we hired an event coordinator. So maybe that would be my biggest high five to you. Like, however you need to find the help that you need so someone else can say yes for you. That is amazing. So whether that's volunteers or support staff, yeah, just advocating for what you need to your people. Really paid off well for me this year. So I'm really thankful. The city of Gainesville has been really, really great for our Main Street program.
Congrats. And we also had a lot of fun up there for the GDA conference. Thank you for hosting us so well.
Yes, gave me time to do that since I had someone else doing the other events. So
Cherie, I would love to share, even though it's not necessarily a movie compared to our Main Street, but one of my absolute favorite Christmas movies is Elf. And because his energy is just so contagious and he's always super duper positive. So I love that. And y'all know one of my favorite quotes from that movie is the best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear. I know, right, Tanya? And so I feel like just as Main Street managers, that is what y'all do for your downtowns. So thank y'all for what y'all do. And we know that it is a thankless job, but and you have to have a passion for what you do. So thank y'all so, so, so much for what y'all do.
Anybody else? Yes, Abigail, because smiling is Ebony's favorite. All right. Well, I guess we will end it with that. Thank y'all for participating. Again, thank you for all you do. We love y'all, and we hope you have Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a Happy New Year, and we will see y'all next year. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.